The future of abortion will now be up to the individual states, a process which could take months, but Missouri was among the very first states in the union to make their stance on ending abortion in the Show Me state final.
Yeah, joining us now is Missouri Congresswoman and member of the Armed Services House Committee and Agricultural Committees. There we go. Vicky Hartzler. Congresswoman, welcome back to Wake Up America. I do want to get your reaction to this official ruling to overturn Roe versus Wade.
Well, it's a monumental victory for life as well as the Constitution, and I'm so grateful that the court stood up for the Constitution and said that these decisions should be left up to the elected representatives. And I'm so proud to be from Missouri that we were the first state to make it official that our law here is that all life is valuable and all babies have a plan and purpose and deserve to live.
Congresswoman, Missouri, and this was fascinating. So 13 states did have trigger laws that went into effect retroactively on Friday once the Supreme Court ruling came down. Missouri, the very first state in the country to file paperwork effectively ending abortion in the state of Missouri. Many states are going to take some time, possibly up to a year, to figure out how they will navigate this new ruling and what they will do, what parameters will be set. Do you expect this to stand in Missouri?
Oh, absolutely. And the court has said that it's up to the elected representatives. And the representatives of Missouri passed a law a couple of years ago saying that if Roe versus Wade was overturned, that we would be a state that embraces life at every stage. And I'm so grateful for that. You know, we have lost over 63 million Americans to abortion since Roe versus Wade came down in 1973. And that is just a tragedy. I mean, what could those lives have meant to us, to our world? Could we have a cure for Alzheimer's and cancers by now? We do not know. But now we will have a chance for these babies to live out their God-given purpose. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And here in Missouri, we also embrace and support the mother. There are many, many pregnancy care centers where volunteers work with and support women so no woman feels alone or coerced or that she needs to end the life of her unborn baby. And that is going to be important moving forward as well, is to support the women. We can be supportive of women as well as the unborn babies.
Yeah, Congresswoman, how do you think that this will affect the midterms? Because some say that they're concerned this could hurt Republicans. We already kind of know what Democrats are going to run on in the next couple of months. How do you think this plays out?
Well, there will be probably more people interested in elections and their elected representatives stand on life. But I think overall, most people are concerned right now about the Biden inflation that is preventing them from being able to even fill up their car with gas or find food at the store. So inflation is going to drive most of this election and the failed policies of President Biden. We have wide open borders. We have an energy crisis. We have record inflation and a very insecure situation on the world stage due to this failed policies of President Biden. And the Democrats are going to try to run on solely the abortion issue because they want to divert attention away from the bad policies that are hurting America. I mean, I'm a former school teacher, and, you know, I believe we should be teaching the ABCs and not CRT. And so people and parents are going to be looking for leaders who are going to give their children accurate information at schools, who are going to fight against inflation, who are going to secure the border. And that is ultimately what is going to rule the day. And I think Republicans are going to see a huge wave of support this fall.
So specifically to Missouri, let's say you need an abortion or you'd like to have an abortion in the state of Missouri, big state. You have to leave the state to get an abortion?
Unless the life of the mother is endangered. That is the policy here. But we hope that those women instead will go to a crisis pregnancy center nearby and get support and
no
learn more about
for,
the development of the baby.
Sorry, Congresswoman, is there any accommodation for rape and incest in Missouri?
No, there's not. And, you know, my position on that is that no child should be killed for the sin of their father. That child is precious and deserves to live as well. But the mother needs to be supported as well. And that's why we have crisis pregnancy centers all over this state, willing and ready, and who have been serving to help these women and support them and support these mothers.
Yeah. Okay. Congresswoman Vicky Hartzler, good to see you. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Of course.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.